A warm evening to you and welcome to Atlantic Television Network Global News. First, the headlines. Group tells voters to reject dubious candidate in Bayelsa State. Senate calls for extradition of IPOB leader EPA. Kanu's lawyer speaks on DSS disobeying court's order. International Labour Organization urges governments to bridge skill gaps. Presidential guard foils coup attempt in Niger Republic. Wole Soyinka says no apology to Muslims over video. Kano Pillars introduce 3 new players. Here is our bulletin in full. National Coordinator of the Center for Basic Rights, Protection and Accountability Campaign, Prince Wiro, is calling on the state government to set up a task force to enforce the installation and the use of CCTV cameras in hotels and guest houses to improve security. He also said investigations revealed that many hotels are not complying with check-in procedures stipulated by the state government sometime in 2018 and 2019, when there were issues of serial killing of young girls in some hotels in the state. This is coming after a middle-aged man simply identified as Ken was found dead in his room while lodging in a hotel in D-Line area of Port Harcourt. Furthermore, participants at the event also expressed themselves while agitating for thorough media welfare regulation and ethics implementation.
Your primary allegiance is to the public and not to your countryman. is it fair?
Here we are trying to accord value to humanity.
People to use the November governorship election to solidify peace, tranquility and harmony, and to take the state to greater heights. They urged the people not to allow the influence of money and material gains sway them into the wrong side during the gubernatorial election, but to remain purposeful and resolute in ensuring sustainability of the prevailing peace in the state. Ijo Youth Council says it would no longer accept incessant gas flaring and insouciant practices by international oil companies in the Niger Delta region. This is coming after the House of Representatives promised to recover the sum of over $9 billion gas flaring fines imposed by the federal government on airing local and foreign oil and gas companies. President of the Council, Dr. Alaye Theophilus, who disclosed this in Port Harcourt after taking over from the Deacon Peter Igbifa, as the president said, gas flaring and venting has been a significant environmental, economic, health and social concern for the people of the region for many years. He also said his mandate as the 9th president of the Ijo Nation is to promote, to defend that the command remains steadfast in the resolve to bring the perpetrators to justice, while urging the public to remain calm, vigilant and cooperate fully with law enforcement agencies. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has promised Aba will be independently powered to testify in court. The petitioner and the candidate of the Labour Party, Mrs. Victoria Onwubiko, had filed a suit challenging the victory of Honorable Erondo Jr. in the 2023 general polls. The court eventually adjourned the hearing into August 3rd, 2023, to give the petitioner an opportunity to bring their witnesses to court and close their case. However, he later reversed his statement and admitted that the INEC voter register was used and beavers functioned properly. It was a notorious cultist who was always used by the leadership of the market to collect tolls. The spokesperson for Anambra State Police Command, DSP Kenga Tochukwu, confirmed the incident, saying that operatives of the command have been dispatched to the scene. Meanwhile, the incident has caused traders who had come out for their businesses to hurriedly shut down their shops. Mr. Peter Mba-led government says it has sealed off 106 shops and 2 banks in the state for allegedly observing Monday sit-at-home order imposed by a factional leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Simon Ekpa. The governor said all the sealed businesses would remain sealed for 1 week, after which his administration would consider either reopening them or on certain conditions or selling them off. The governor, in a statement by the secretary to the state government, Prof. Sochide Bere Onya, said 106 shops and 2 banks were sealed on Monday by officials of the Enugu State Capital Territory Development Authority, adding that the action was in line with the governor's warning. The statement, the spirit of no sit at home in traders. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has called for an end to the Monday sit-at-homes in the southeast region. Kanu, while speaking through his lawyer, Michael Zokeme, said he does not believe in the sit-at-home and that it is counterproductive. He also said that the sit-at-home homes are crippling the social, economic, cultural and political life of the people, adding that they are putting the evil under psychological, physical and mental torture. Senate has condemned the Monday sit-at-home in the southeast geopolitical zone and asked the federal government to collaborate with the Finnish government and extradite a pro-Biafran agitator, Simon Ekpa, for prosecution. During plenary, the Red Chamber, presided over by President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, resolved to invite the Minister of Foreign Affairs, when appointed, and relevant stakeholders to carry out a thorough investigation, as well as bring other sponsors of the act to book. Senator Izunaso Osita, on his motion, decried the state of insecurity in the region, stating that the economic activities have come to a halt in the zone where kidnapping and wanton killing had become the order of the day.
Thousands
of innocent lives
I'm happy that I have a track up
have
on
been
this
lost
story.
since this action of sit-at-home in the Southeast started, and properties worth over
region. If commerce, therefore, is shut down in this part of the country, I'm afraid it indeed a national problem that I think should be treated as a national challenge. Quite a number of innocent people have fallen victims. I recall with great sadness that a great friend of mine, Ahmed Gulak, was allegedly shot, though unproven, by people who have been trying to enforce this sit-at-home order.
After the widely debated motion, the Senate observed 1 minute silence for all those who have been killed during the sit-at-home. The Academic Staff Union of the Polytechnic in Osun State and pensioners was to cushion the effect of the increased cost of transporting themselves to work, adding that the hazard allowance, peculiar allowances and promotion allowances would also be paid, while urging civil servants to maintain about 80% presence in their various offices. Fatal multiple crash accident involving a container-laden truck, a pickup van and a motorcycle in the Maryland Jubu area by Anthony Bridge, Lagos State. This is coming after the multiple crash which occurred when the truck suffered a brake failure and the driver lost control, causing the bike rider and the van to collide with it. The state education and practice in Nigeria, while urging nurses to always strive for excellence and continuous improvement in contributing their quota in the healthcare sector through their vital roles as caregivers, advocates, and healthcare leaders. Governor Sanwo-Olu further said the workshop will hopefully be a collaborative platform fostering the exchange of ideas, knowledge, and experiences to explore how technology can be integrated seamlessly into nursing examination processes while preserving the integrity and validity of the assessments. Management of Bingham University in the Karu local government area of Nasarawa State says 3 students of the institution arrested recently in connection with the murder case had been suspended from the school. A statement by the university's Director of Public Affairs, Daburi Misal, explained that the Assembly mandated investigation following a resolution on July 18, 2023. Tanimu explained that the committee invited the affected chairpersons to provide financial documents, including bank statement from the June 2022 to June 2023 department vault account, approved budget for 2022 and 2023 capital and recurrent expenditures for the respective years, and a list of awarded contracts and their levels of completion, among others. Upon studying the documents, the committee found that the Kaura, Kagako and Chikun chairman had contravened Section 48 of the Local Government Administration Law of 2018. They killed 7 military personnel and 28 villagers with scores injured in a clash with bandits at Kangun, Garachi in the Dangubi district of Maru local government area of Zamfara state. A resident of the area, Malam Usman Garachi, said the casualties resulted from a fierce gun battle between military personnel and the ravaging terrorists. According to him, the unnumbered bandits stormed the communities and started shooting sporadically before the quick intervention of military personnel. As people in the area were hurt as a result of the incident and are currently receiving medical care at the Dango Primary Health Care Center, while urging the federal and state government to rescue them from bandits' operations. Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace has mandated the contractors handling projects at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua Airport in Katsina State to move to the site, as the state government had coming barely 24 hours after the spokesman for the PDP, Dabo Ologunagba, raised an alarm that the Adamawa residence of Atiku was invaded by gunmen suspected to be members of the Boko Haram sect, adding that the alleged sponsored attack was, however, foiled by men of the Adamawa State Police Command. The PDP spokesman Police in Borno State has arrested 10 persons for allegedly killing a police constable in Maiduguri, the state capital. The suspects, 2 females and 8 males, slain Constable Baba Ganamala, attached to the command's police crack unit and deployed to Malari, the Konduga local government area of the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Yusufu, while parading the suspect, given to prevent a further outbreak of the disease. Is this the first break? All right, welcome back from the break. A presidential candidate has insisted that the declaration of President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress as the winner of the poll was unjust and unconstitutional. Atiku, who is challenging Tinubu's victory before the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja, insisted that Tinubu must be unseated. Coalition of United Political Parties has accused the Independent Electoral Commission of bias in self-review over the outcome of the 2023 presidential election. COP called on INEC to set up an independent public inquiry on the glitches that the commission claimed they undermined the integrity of the 2023 presidential election if they were serious of the public. He urged Nigerians to embrace innovation wholeheartedly, stressing that its adoption will impact policing services significantly, and adding that the police VGS QERRS is an application that has been modeled to ensure prompt response and referral to in the event of emergencies such as accidents, natural disasters, medical emergencies, criminal incidents reporting, intelligence sharing. The police VGS app is a lifeline that can make all the difference in saving lives, combating the menace of crime, and securing our communities. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has declared indefinite strike with effect from Wednesday, July 26. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has called on President Bola Tinubu to investigate the alleged fight and power tussle between the Department of State Services and operatives of the Nigerian Correctional Services. This is coming after the DSS operatives and prisons officers engaged in a face-off just after the trial of former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, as were moving him to their facility when DSS intercepted and forcefully picked him before the fight broke out during the period between both security operatives in front of the court. While reacting, Serap urged the Tinubu administration to obey the court's order granting Emefiele bail. Kano Aloy has sent a message to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the activities of the Department of State Services. Ejimaka urged Tinubu to stop the Secret Service from disobeying court orders, adding that the serious disobedience of court orders by DSS was condemnable. This is coming after the DSS also failed to obey court orders granting Kano freedom, stressing that the DSS refused to allow the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, enjoy his bail. Recall that Lagos Federal High Court had granted Emefiele 20 million bail after 2-count charge of illegal possession of firearms leveled against him. In view of the power play displayed by DSS at the premises of the Federal High Court in Lagos to rearrest the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, on a 2-count charge of illegal possession of firearms, stakeholders fault the actions ensuring the execution of erosion control and remediation projects at all the affected communities. The Green Chamber also urged the National Emergency Management Agency to supply relief materials to the affected areas and further urged the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to rehabilitate and reconstruct the affected roads. The resolution of the House followed by motion titled Need to Intervene on the Menace of Erosion and Food at Fagge by Honorable Mohammed Bello Shehu.
Mr. Speaker, I stand to move the motion on the menace of erosion and flood within Fagge Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, most of these affected areas include Korungugau, Zingiru Road, Kwakwachi, Darirawa in Emmatagabas, Sabon Birni, Alpha, Tudun Bojuwa, Alasawa, Jaba, Koren Akuya, and Kwakwachi 2, all in Fagge local government area of Kano State. These areas, Mr. Speaker, are facing severe and destructive environmental degradation and poverty as a result of erosion and flood occasioned in the said communities.
Sustainably finance social protection, extend social security to more workers, including gig and platform economy, address the global skills gap. Adding that the meeting centered on addressing the global skills gaps, extended social protection to platform and gig workers, and sustainably financing national social protection systems. The ILO said ministers agreed on specific policy priorities to accelerate progress on the first two challenges and a set of policy options regarding the third. He advised that to make further progress and to tackle gender inequality in particular, action must focus on Washington-based lenders' projection of April 2023. Commenting on the global economy, the IMF said global growth was projected to fall from an estimated 3.5% in 2022 to 3.0% in both 2023 and 2024. Federal Capital Territory Administration has commenced the auditing of the remittance of statutory and non-statutory deductions from the payroll of workers from 2010 to 2022 to ensure that deductions from the payroll of workers are timely remitted to the third-party beneficiaries. The FCT Permanent Secretary, Mr. Olusade Adeshola, while conducting the flag of exercise in Abuja, disclosed that the auditing of the remittances of payroll deductions is in line with the FCTA's objectives and a commitment to ensure transparent contributions to cooperative societies and various welfare programs. According to him, the audit exercise is also being carried out to ensure that the administration's obligations to third-party beneficiaries are met with utmost integrity, adding that remittances of payroll deductions play pivotal roles in maintaining the welfare of the FCTA workforce, while lamenting that the remittances for both statutory and non-statutory deductions from the payroll of workers since 2010 had faced some setbacks. He also said that some of the problems it created as a result of such non-remittances include the failure by FCTA retirees to claim their national housing funds from the federal mortgage banks due to non-posting of the deductions as a result of discrepancies in the schedules accompanying the payment of such deductions. Central Bank of Nigeria's Monetary Policy Committee has retained a cash reserve ratio at 32.5%. The acting governor of CBN, Faloshadun Shonibi, disclosed this in a communique after the MPC's 292nd meeting. He also said the CRR represents commercial banks' total customer deposit that must be deposited with CBN. This is coming after the MPC had fixed the CRR at 32.5% rate to direct the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to prevail on distribution companies to stop the estimated billing of electricity consumers across the country. You're still watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Here is the international tidbit. Presidential Guard in Niger Republic says it has sealed off the residence and offices of President Mohamed Bazoum. The move comes in the wake of the alleged attempted coup by the country's military, while the West African state had experienced 4 military coups since its independence from France in 1960, as well as numerous other attempts on power. Officials close to the president and his family say everything is under control and that talks are underway with the elite troops. The West African state had experienced 4 military coups since its independence from France in 1960, as well as numerous other attempts on power. The Economic Community of West Africa.
Diaspora home remittance through official channels stood at $21.9 billion, a figure that is 4 times the value of Nigeria's foreign direct investment. Nigerians in diaspora are also actively investing in the nation's health care, agriculture, education, information and communication technology, housing and real estate, sport, transportation, oil and gas, and other sectors. While commending the effort of these ambassadors, the president also stressed the need for collaborations geared towards building a better Nigeria. He added that Nigerians, both home and abroad, only can develop Nigeria.
May I also let you know that this new democratically elected government is a diaspora-friendly one, which will provide an enabling platform. We will provide an enabling platform for you.
I expect more from you, the diaspora. It's a symbiotic relationship, as we always say. Nigeria needs you, and you need Nigeria. You are #1 ambassadors, and we're proud of everything you're doing. We're proud that you all came home, a lot of you, to celebrate this day today.
Some of the participants who spoke with Atlantic Television News emphasized the importance of them having a voice and being part of the decision makers during elections, which they say can only be possible through diaspora voting. Senator Ned Nwoko, however, expressed his commitment towards a bill which will address the plight of Nigerians abroad regarding diaspora voting.
So we're always contributing, but we also want to have a voice. And I think with programs like this, we're finally getting to that corridor where we will have a voice. When I say voice, I'm saying voice in, play in government. We should have, opportunity to have diaspora voting.
Yes, because Nigeria is our treasure, and we put a lot of resources for the remittances that diaspora makes, and we think we should be a part of the decision making in Nigeria as it stands today. Diaspora voting is very important for us. Diaspora voting, I think it should be on the front border of this administration.
That's it. That is what we are trying to make you to understand, that it should be a blessing for Nigerians to have dual nationality anywhere they are. It does not change the fact that they are Nigerians. They can be in UK and have a Nigerian passport. They can have America and have a Nigerian passport. They can be in China and have a Nigerian passport, and also have the passports of those their host countries. And it helps them. It helps them to grow in those countries. It helps them to work and remit money that helps us to build this nation.
In villages and holiday resorts, while thousands have been evacuated. Greece is preparing for more evacuation flights from roads as fires also rage on the islands of Corfu and Evia. The current long heat wave shows no let up. Temperatures are expected to rise above 44 centigrade in parts of Greece. Fires in Sicily and Puglia have forced thousands of people to flee, while high winds and thick tinder dry vegetation mean firefighters are struggling in many areas to douse the flames and create fire breaks. It is the heaviest death toll so far is in Algeria, where the 34 victims included 10 soldiers surrounded by flames during an evacuation in the coastal province of Bajai, east of Algiers. Bajai is the worst hit area. Russian delegation led by Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has arrived in North Korea to be joined by Chinese delegation. They will attend Pyongyang's celebrations of the 70th anniversary of the end of Korean War, marked typically by massive military parades. The visits are the first of their kind to the North since it shut its borders to try to keep out the pandemic, while it is unclear if this signals a chancing in front of a mosque was not an offense but simply creativity employed to display spiritual uniformity existing in mankind. Actress Eniola Badmus describes President Bola Tinubu as a humanitarian benefactor and good Samaritan. She said one of the major reasons she supported the former Lagos governor during the 2023 polls was because of his supportive nature. The actress also explained why Nigerians buy the cheapest fuel in the world. According to Badmus, many people are blaming Tinubu for the hike in fuel price because they don't understand what fuel subsidy means. And that will bring you sports news. Kano Pillars have reviewed the signing of 3 new players ahead of the 2023-2024 Nigeria season. Forward, Ibrahim Mustafa Yuga joined the Saimasu Gida from Plateau United. Mustafa, who was once in the books of 9-time Nigeria Professional Football League champions, signed a 1-year deal. Winger Abubakar Ibrahim Babawo also arrived from Kano Pillars, while Abubakar Aliyu, a striker who played for Wiki Tourist last season, also put pen to paper on a one-year deal. Kano Pillars gained promotion to the NPFL at the Nigeria National League. Arsenal through Martinez after their pre-season friendly last week. The Red Devils won 2-0.